Hey, I'm Shane. Today I'm going to be making a short video on how I like to use my Aeropress here with no additional filters or add-ons to it to make some decent pseudo-espresso-like drinks. Today I made an Americano, but you can make kind of pseudo-lattes and cappuccinos. That'd be very similar to a more expensive machine without nearly as much work or the cost associated with that. So today I'm going to be using coffee from Balzac's Roasters. They're a local roaster to me here in Ontario, and they make fantastic coffee. I'm going to be using their amber roast espresso. I use this for my espresso normally, and I just find it's a very nice roast, so I'm going to use it with the Aeropress today. So I'm going to grind 17 grams of beans. You don't need to be as strict with the amount. 16 to 18 is okay as well, but that's just the ballpark I usually like to use. And then I'm going to grind those beans with my Encore. I like to use 5 stops, like 5 clicks in on the grinder, but the goal of the grinding process is to get it to kind of a slightly fine sugar texture. It's not as important because the Aeropress is pretty forgiving in my experience. However, that's what I usually like to do. Next up is you're gonna prepare the Aeropress. During this time is when I start to boil my water. The first thing I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna rinse my Aeropress filter just to get out any of the kind of papery taste potentially that you could introduce, and also to prepare the filter so that it's gonna be a lot easier for when you actually do press the coffee. The next thing you can do is you can potentially warm up your Aeropress with the warm water. This will help keep the temperature proper during the brewing process in the Aeropress. However, today I'm not gonna do this step. I'm gonna flip over my Aeropress and have it inverted so that the plunger is on the table. I'm gonna add my beans into the Aeropress and then place the Aeropress on a scale. Once I do this, I can start adding my water. I'm going to brew my coffee over 60 seconds, and I'm going to add about 50 to 60 grams of water. Here I used 55 grams, and then I'm going to mix my beans in the grinds together just so I make sure that there's contact with the water. I'm going to add on the filter on top of the Aeropress, and then I'm going to invert the Aeropress and push the brew into the actual cup. And that's basically the step. It requires a bit of practice to get this done quickly enough, but really 60 seconds is a decent amount of time to get this all done in. Now that you have the kind of concentrated coffee or espresso, you can add in whatever diluent you want. Today I'm just making an Americano and I'm just adding around 150 ml of water to my coffee, or usually what I do is I just add milk to this, and I used heated up milk that I just heat up in the microwave. The last step and the most important step is to make sure you enjoy your coffee. I love using the Aeropress because it's such a really manual way to make your coffee, and it's so easy and super inexpensive. The most important thing I find is that you grind your own beans and just make sure everything's fresh. And that's basically it. It's really nice for when you're on the road because in terms of grinders, you can just use a manual grinder most of the time, and you can get them for like 20 to 30 bucks on Amazon, which is, again, super cheap. So anyways, that's it for the video. Sorry for making something, again, a little different than my regular camera videos, but it's just a little hard to get out these days and to make those. So anyways, I hope you have an awesome day, and thanks for watching. See ya.